Ladies and gentlemen, every day is a new opportunity, a chance to push yourself forward and grow. Motivation is what fuels us to take action, to keep going even when things get tough. But here's the thing, staying motivated every day isn't always easy. It's not about having a perfect plan or seeing immediate results. It's about building small habits, creating a routine, and showing up for yourself even when you feel like giving up. The key to staying motivated lies in understanding that motivation isn't just a feeling. It's something you cultivate through action and persistence. The secret to staying motivated every day isn't about finding a magical source of energy or inspiration. It's about small, consistent actions that you take daily. Motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you create by showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Every step you take, no matter how small, is progress. Motivation grows as you build momentum. The more you do, the more you feel like doing. When you start your day with the intention to do just one small thing, you are setting the foundation for more action. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier, writing one paragraph, or doing a single task on your to-do list. These actions may seem insignificant, but they create a ripple effect. Each action builds on the last, and soon you'll find yourself doing more than you thought possible. Consistency is key. It's easy to get excited at the start of something and put in a lot of effort for a short period of time, but that's not where true motivation comes from. It's the day in, day out dedication that makes the difference. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing something, no matter how small, every single day. You don't need to see immediate results to feel motivated. It's the act of showing up and doing the work day after day that keeps you moving forward. Think about a plant. If you water it every day, no matter how small the amount, it will eventually grow. But if you skip a few days, it will wither. Motivation works the same way. If you continue to take small actions even when you don't see results right away, your motivation will continue to grow. This is where self-discipline comes in. Motivation can't be relied upon all the time. Some days you might not feel motivated at all. But that's when your consistency and discipline will carry you through. By committing to your daily actions, you are building a routine that doesn't depend on how you feel in the moment. Over time, this routine becomes a habit, and habits are the foundation of lasting motivation. The most important part of staying motivated is simply to keep going. Motivation is not a feeling you can always control, but action is something you can always choose. Even when you feel tired or discouraged, make the decision to take that one small step forward. It's the consistency of these actions that builds motivation and in turn drives you closer to your goals. Keep showing up for yourself, keep doing the work, and before you know it, you'll be amazed at how far you've come. There are going to be days when everything feels off, when the weight of the world feels like it's on your shoulders, and motivation seems like an unreachable concept. On those days, it's important to remember that it's okay to not feel motivated. Motivation isn't a constant, and it doesn't always stay with you. Life is full of ups and downs, and so is your energy. Just because you're not feeling fired up today doesn't mean you've lost your ability to be successful or make progress. In fact, those are the days when true strength shows up. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. Sometimes we expect too much from ourselves, especially when it comes to motivation. We think we should be in a state of constant drive and enthusiasm, but that's simply not realistic. It's okay to acknowledge that you're not always going to be at your best. Being motivated every day doesn't mean you're energized and eager to go all the time. It means that even when you're feeling drained or uninspired, you still find the strength to move forward, even if it's just a tiny step. Think about a car. You don't expect it to run at full speed all the time. Sometimes it needs to slow down, stop, or refuel. It's the same with your motivation. There are times when you need to take a break, recharge, and let your mind and body rest. Pushing yourself when you're drained can be counterproductive. It's important to recognize when you need to take a step back, reset, and regain your focus. Rest isn't a sign of weakness. It's a vital part of maintaining long-term motivation. When you're feeling unmotivated, it's also easy to fall into a cycle of self-doubt. You start to question your abilities, wonder if you're good enough, or feel like you're failing. But this is just the negative voice in your head, trying to stop you from moving forward. On those days, remember that you don't have to accomplish everything at once. You don't need to solve all your problems or make drastic changes today. Focus on small wins. Completing one task, making one call, or even just getting out of bed can be a victory on tough days. These small actions add up over time and can help lift your spirits, even if just a little bit. You might not always have the energy to take massive action, but that's okay. As long as you're still moving, even if it's at a slower pace, you're making progress. There is power in persistence. You might not see immediate results, but that doesn't mean you're not moving forward. Every small effort counts. Motivation isn't always about taking big leaps. It's about showing up and doing something, no matter how small it may seem. On days when motivation is hard to find, give yourself permission to feel what you're feeling. Don't beat yourself up for not being at your best. Your feelings are valid, and taking time to acknowledge them is important. But don't let those feelings become an excuse to give up. Sometimes just taking action, even if it's minimal, can help push you out of that rut. Whether it's making a to-do list, doing a quick workout, or even just starting your day with one small goal in mind, it's about taking those baby steps. Another crucial point is to remember that motivation is not always driven by external factors. It's easy to rely on others or situations to spark motivation, but you have to cultivate it within yourself. Sometimes motivation has to come from your own commitment to your goals, your why. When you remember why you started and keep that reason at the forefront of your mind, it can serve as a powerful reminder to keep going, even when external circumstances aren't perfect. It's important to have a supportive environment. If you're feeling unmotivated, reach out to someone you trust, a friend, a mentor, or a loved one. Sometimes, simply talking to someone else can help you get back on track. Their encouragement, advice, or just a listening ear can reignite that spark you might be missing. Surrounding yourself with people who understand and support you is crucial. They can help remind you of your strengths and encourage you to keep going, even when you can't see it yourself. When you think about motivation, it's easy to picture someone constantly pushing themselves, working relentlessly without stopping. But in reality, one of the most important aspects of staying motivated is finding balance. It's about knowing when to push yourself and when to step back. Motivation doesn't just come from working harder or longer. It often comes from taking the time to rest, recharge, and reconnect with yourself. Rest isn't something to be ashamed of. It's a vital part of maintaining your energy and focus. When you try to push through every day without giving yourself time to slow down, it's easy to burn out. Burnout doesn't just affect your energy levels, it also affects your motivation. When you're exhausted, it's harder to find the drive to continue. This is why it's so important to give yourself permission to rest, to take breaks, and to enjoy moments of relaxation. Rest allows you to reset, to regain perspective, and to come back to your work with renewed energy. Taking breaks doesn't mean you're not motivated. In fact, taking time to rest is one of the most effective ways to stay motivated in the long run. Imagine trying to run a car without stopping for fuel or maintenance. Eventually, it will break down. The same thing happens when you push yourself too hard without taking care of your mental and physical well-being. A healthy balance of work and rest keeps you from reaching that breaking point. It helps you stay energized, focused, and more productive over time. Finding balance also means recognizing the importance of self-care. Motivation isn't just about achieving goals, it's about taking care of yourself throughout the process. This includes getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, and spending time doing things that bring you joy. Self-care is a critical aspect of maintaining motivation because when you feel good physically and mentally, you're more likely to stay motivated and focused on your goals. Sometimes taking a break also means stepping away from your work to gain a fresh perspective. When you're constantly immersed in something, it's easy to become too close to it, and that can cloud your judgment or make it harder to see solutions to problems. Stepping back allows you to look at things from a different angle, which can reignite your motivation and creativity. In addition to self-care, balance also involves setting boundaries. In a world that demands constant availability, it can be easy to overcommit yourself. Saying yes to everything can lead to overwhelming yourself, which can negatively impact your motivation. It's important to recognize your limits and know when to say no. By setting boundaries, you give yourself the space to focus on what truly matters and maintain the energy you need to stay motivated in the long term. Balance also means understanding that not every day will be productive. Some days you might feel like you're moving at full speed, and other days you might not get much done at all. And that's okay. Not every day will be perfect, and that's part of the process. Some days will be slower, and that's not a sign of failure. It's just part of the natural ebb and flow of life. Allowing yourself to have slower days without feeling guilty can actually help you stay motivated in the long term, because you're not constantly pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. One way to maintain balance is by having a routine that incorporates both work and rest. Setting specific times for work and times for relaxation helps create structure in your day. Having a set routine allows you to know when it's time to focus on your tasks and when it's time to step away and recharge. This routine doesn't have to be rigid. It just needs to be flexible enough to give you the freedom to rest without feeling guilty about it. When you incorporate rest into your routine, it becomes part of the process, not something you have to feel bad about. Balance is the key to long-term motivation. Rest, self-care, boundaries, and a flexible routine are all part of creating a sustainable cycle of motivation. By taking care of yourself and knowing when to rest, you can maintain the energy and focus needed to keep moving towards your goals. Motivation doesn't come from constant hustle. It comes from creating a balanced life that allows you to thrive in both your work and personal life. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your motivation. This isn't just about the people who cheer you on from the sidelines, but also about the energy and influence they bring into your life. The people you choose to spend your time with can either lift you up or drain you. It's crucial to recognize how these relationships affect your drive to keep moving forward, especially when it comes to maintaining motivation on a daily basis. When you surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and encourage you, your own motivation will naturally increase. Conversely, if you surround yourself with negative influences or those who constantly discourage or undermine you, it becomes much harder to stay focused on your goals. When you're surrounded by people who support your dreams and ambitions, they act as a source of encouragement. Their belief in you can give you the confidence to take risks, try new things, and keep pushing forward even when you feel uncertain. Having a positive support system provides you with a sense of accountability. Knowing that someone else believes in your potential makes you want to show up for yourself and give your best effort. These people can be your cheerleaders, but more importantly, they can be the ones who remind you of your worth, especially during moments of self-doubt. In addition to encouragement, The right people can also provide you with valuable insights and constructive feedback. Surrounding yourself with individuals who are knowledgeable, experienced, or even just passionate about similar things helps you learn and grow. They can offer advice, share their experiences, and push you to think in new ways. These kinds of relationships are crucial for staying motivated because they expose you to new ideas, strategies, and perspectives that can help you move forward with greater clarity and determination. It's important to surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just those who agree with everything you do. Being around individuals who push you outside of your comfort zone and encourage you to grow will help you stay motivated in the long term. When you're constantly challenged to do better, to think deeper, and to act with intention, you create a culture of growth around you. These challenges might be uncomfortable at times, but they force you to think critically, improve your skills, and ultimately become the best version of yourself. At the same time, it's essential to recognize the importance of surrounding yourself with people who uplift you emotionally. Life can be difficult, and there will inevitably be moments when you face setbacks or feel down. In these times, it's the people who provide emotional support, those who listen, empathize, and offer comfort, that will help you stay motivated. Emotional support is just as important as practical advice because it reminds you that you're not alone. When you have people who genuinely care about your well-being, it makes facing challenges feel less isolating and more manageable. However, not all relationships are positive or motivating. Toxic relationships can quickly drain your energy, leaving you feeling discouraged and demotivated. Whether it's a friend who constantly undermines your efforts, a colleague who is always negative, or a family member who doesn't believe in your goals, these types of relationships can hold you back. They often create a sense of doubt or insecurity that affects your motivation. When surrounded by negativity, it's easy to internalize those messages and begin to question your abilities. Over time, these toxic relationships can prevent you from taking action and pursuing your dreams because you start to doubt your potential. It's important to set boundaries and distance yourself from people who bring negativity into your life. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting people off completely, but it does mean being mindful of who you spend the most time with and how they make you feel. If someone consistently drains your energy or brings you down, consider limiting your exposure to them. You have the power to choose the people who influence your life, and choosing those who uplift and motivate you will help you stay focused on your goals. Surrounding yourself with positive influences doesn't always mean spending time with a large group of people. Sometimes it's about finding a few key individuals who genuinely support you and believe in your potential. It's about quality over quantity. Having a small circle of like-minded individuals who inspire you, provide emotional support, and challenge you in positive ways can have a much stronger impact on your motivation than having a wide circle of acquaintances. At the same time, you should also strive to be that positive influence for others. Motivation is a two-way street. The more you encourage, support, and challenge the people around you, the more motivated and inspired you will feel in return. Being part of someone else's journey can reignite your own sense of purpose and drive. This mutual support system helps create a positive environment where everyone is encouraged to grow and succeed, creating a continuous cycle of motivation and progress. When you think about motivation, one of the most powerful driving forces is understanding your why. Your purpose. The reason you're doing what you're doing serves as the anchor that keeps you grounded when the road gets tough. Without a clear understanding of why you're working towards something, it's easy to lose sight of your goals, get distracted, or give up when challenges arise. Your why is the fuel that powers your journey, giving you a reason to keep going even when motivation feels fleeting. It's the underlying force that pushes you through difficult moments and reminds you that your efforts are not in vain. Your why goes beyond just wanting to succeed or achieve a goal. It's deeper than that. It's tied to your core values, your beliefs, and your desires for the future. It's the reason you wake up in the morning and decide to put in the work day after day. Whether it's to provide a better life for your family, to prove to yourself that you can achieve something great, or to contribute to a cause that is bigger than yourself, knowing your why makes the journey feel more meaningful. When you have a purpose that's connected to your values, it gives you a sense of direction and motivation that can't easily be shaken. The why behind your goals should be something that excites you, something that you are passionate about. When your purpose is something you truly care about, it doesn't feel like a chore to pursue it. It becomes an expression of who you are. This passion makes the work feel less like work and more like a pursuit of something that matters to you. You find joy and fulfillment in the process itself, rather than just in the outcome. When you align your actions with something you care deeply about, you develop a sense of purpose that keeps you motivated even when things get difficult. Having a strong why also helps you overcome obstacles. Challenges and setbacks are inevitable, and they will test your commitment. On the days when you feel tired, frustrated, or discouraged, remembering your why can reignite your determination to keep pushing forward. It reminds you of the bigger picture and why you started in the first place. If your goal is just to achieve a specific outcome, it can be easy to lose interest when you encounter challenges. But when your why is tied to a deeper sense of meaning, the struggle becomes a part of the process. You view challenges not as insurmountable barriers, but as stepping stones that get you closer to your purpose. Understanding your why also helps you stay focused. There are countless distractions in life, and it's easy to get sidetracked by them. But when you have a clear understanding of why you're doing something, it becomes easier to say no to things that don't align with your purpose. Your why acts as a filter, helping you decide where to direct your energy and attention. Every decision you make, every action you take, can be guided by this purpose. It becomes your compass, pointing you in the right direction and helping you stay aligned with your true goals. When you encounter moments of doubt, your why can be a reminder of your strength and your capability. Self-doubt can be a major obstacle to motivation, especially when you start questioning whether you're good enough or whether your efforts are worth it. But if you have a strong why, it helps you push through that doubt. It reminds you that you're not just working for a goal, you're working for something that resonates deeply with you. This inner conviction strengthens your resolve and helps you stay focused even when external validation is lacking. Your why can also help you stay resilient in the face of failure. Everyone experiences setbacks, but what differentiates those who stay motivated from those who give up is how they respond to failure. When you are driven by a purpose that is deeply meaningful to you, failure is not seen as an end but as a part of the process. Each failure is simply another lesson on the way to success. Your why gives you the strength to bounce back, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep going despite the challenges. It keeps your mind focused on the long-term vision, not just the short-term obstacles. Additionally, your why doesn't just help you stay motivated, it also inspires others. When you're connected to a purpose, it shows in everything you do. Your enthusiasm, your commitment, and your passion are contagious. People around you will see your drive and be inspired by it. They will be motivated by your example, and that can create a ripple effect, inspiring others to find their own why and pursue their goals with the same level of commitment and dedication. By staying true to your purpose, you also help create an environment where others feel empowered to chase their own dreams. Having a clear why is an essential ingredient for sustained motivation. It keeps you on track when the path gets difficult, helps you overcome self-doubt, and reminds you of why you started. It's the fuel that powers you through the toughest of days, and the force that keeps you grounded when success feels far off. Your why is the key to unlocking lasting motivation and ensuring that every action you take is aligned with the bigger picture of your life. It's what turns your goals into a mission and your mission into a journey worth pursuing. When you have a goal in mind, breaking it down into smaller, manageable steps is one of the most effective ways to stay motivated. The idea of achieving a big, long-term goal can feel overwhelming. Whether it's completing a degree, building a business, or reaching a fitness target, these large tasks can seem so distant and out of reach that you might feel tempted to give up before even getting started. This is where breaking things down into smaller steps becomes crucial. The process of breaking down your goals allows you to focus on what you can control in the present moment. Instead of looking at the massive mountain in front of you, you focus on taking one small step at a time. Each small step you complete brings you closer to your bigger goal. It's like building a puzzle. Each piece might seem insignificant on its own, but together they create something meaningful. When you break down your goal, you make it tangible, and this makes it less daunting. Smaller steps also help you create a sense of progress, which is a powerful motivator. When you look at the big picture, it's easy to feel like you're not getting anywhere. Progress might feel slow or non-existent. However, when you break it down, each completed step becomes a mini victory. These small wins add up, and before you know it, you realize how much you've accomplished. The feeling of progress is incredibly motivating. It keeps you going and helps you stay focused on the task at hand. Additionally, breaking goals down makes them feel more achievable. When you look at a large goal, it can be easy to get stuck in a mindset of "this is too big for me," or "I don't know where to start." But when you divide the goal into smaller, more actionable tasks, it becomes more approachable. These smaller tasks are within your reach, and they don't feel as overwhelming. You don't have to think about everything at once. You can just focus on what's in front of you right now. This can significantly reduce anxiety and increase your motivation to keep moving forward. By focusing on smaller tasks, you're also able to build momentum. The more tasks you complete, the more you feel like you can accomplish. This momentum pushes you forward and makes it easier to tackle the next task. Think of it like a snowball effect. Once you start rolling, it gets easier to keep going. Each small task you check off the list builds the confidence you need to keep going. And the more confident you become, the more motivated you feel to continue. Another key advantage of breaking down goals is that it gives you a clearer sense of direction. Without a clear plan, it's easy to feel lost or uncertain about what to do next. But when you break down a goal into smaller steps, you have a roadmap to follow. You know exactly what you need to do at each stage, which makes it easier to stay on track. Instead of wondering if you're doing the right thing, you can follow the steps you've outlined. This clarity boosts your motivation because it removes the guesswork and helps you stay focused on what's important. When breaking down your goals, it's essential to make sure each step is specific and measurable. Vague tasks like work on business or study for exams can feel too broad, making it harder to stay motivated. Instead, set clear, actionable goals like write 3 pages of business plan or review chapters 1-3 for 1 hour. These specific tasks are easier to tackle because they give you a concrete idea of what needs to be done. When you complete them, you can see your progress and feel a sense of accomplishment. Setting deadlines for each small task also helps create urgency and keeps you accountable. Without deadlines, it's easy to procrastinate and push things off indefinitely. But when you give yourself a specific time frame to complete each task, you create a sense of responsibility and commitment. Deadlines help you stay focused and motivated because they make the task feel more pressing. They also provide a sense of satisfaction when you meet them, which keeps you on track and encourages you to keep going. Finally, breaking down your goals allows you to celebrate the small wins along the way. Every completed task is an achievement, no matter how small it seems. When you take the time to celebrate these victories, you create positive reinforcement. You remind yourself that you're making progress and that your efforts are paying off. These celebrations, whether big or small, boost your morale and motivate you to keep working toward the next step. They serve as a reminder that every little bit counts and that success is built on small, consistent actions. By breaking down your goals into smaller, more manageable steps, you not only make them more achievable, but you also increase your chances of staying motivated. Each small task completed brings you closer to your larger goal and creates a sense of progress, direction, and accomplishment. This approach makes the journey more manageable and less overwhelming, helping you stay focused, motivated, and committed to your ultimate vision. Sometimes the biggest motivation killer is the fear of failure. Failure is often seen as something negative, something to be avoided at all costs. We grow up hearing messages about success and failure, often associating failure with weakness or inadequacy. The truth, however, is that failure is not only inevitable but also necessary for growth. It's through failure that we learn, adapt, and improve. Embracing failure as part of the journey is one of the most powerful ways to stay motivated, especially when the path becomes challenging or uncertain. When you experience failure, it's natural to feel disappointed, frustrated, or even embarrassed. The temptation to quit can be strong, and the negative feelings can cloud your judgment. But what if you shifted your perspective on failure? Instead of seeing it as a setback, consider it an opportunity to learn something new. Every failure holds valuable lessons. Whether it's a mistake you made, a decision that didn't work out, or a goal you didn't achieve, there's something to be gained from each experience. The key is to extract those lessons and apply them going forward. Fear of failure often holds us back from taking action. We become paralyzed by the thought of messing up, and this fear prevents us from trying new things or pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones. But what if you reframed failure as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block? Every successful person has faced failure in one form or another. What sets them apart is their ability to get back up, learn from their mistakes, and keep moving forward. In fact, failure can sometimes be the best teacher. It forces you to reflect, reassess your approach, and find new ways to overcome obstacles. When you embrace failure as part of the process, you begin to take risks and step out of your comfort zone. You stop playing it safe and start taking actions that push you toward growth. You become more resilient because you understand that failure doesn't define you. It's just one part of the larger picture. If you only focus on avoiding failure, you'll miss out on opportunities for growth, learning, and success. The reality is that failure is essential for progress. It's not something to fear, but something to welcome as an inevitable part of your journey. It's important to recognize that failure doesn't mean you're not capable or that you're not good enough. Often, it's a sign that you're pushing yourself beyond your current limits. Success is rarely a straight path. There will be detours, obstacles, and failures along the way. The key is to stay persistent, to keep moving forward despite setbacks. Each time you fail, you become more experienced, more prepared for the next challenge. With every failure, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your abilities. One way to stay motivated in the face of failure is to shift your focus from the outcome to the process. When we set goals, we often fixate on the end result, the promotion, the recognition, the accomplishment. But success is not just about reaching the end. It's about the effort you put in along the way. Focusing on the process helps you stay motivated because it allows you to enjoy the journey, not just the destination. When you approach failure as a natural part of the process, you're less likely to be discouraged by setbacks. Instead, you'll keep learning, growing, and improving. Another powerful way to stay motivated after a failure is to reframe your mindset. Instead of seeing failure as something personal, try to see it as a neutral event. Failure doesn't reflect your worth or your potential. It's simply a result of taking action, trying something new, and learning from it. By detaching your self-worth from your failures, you reduce the emotional weight that comes with them. This allows you to approach challenges with a clear mind, free from the fear of failing again. The people around you can also influence how you handle failure. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network of friends, family, or colleagues can make all the difference. People who encourage you, who help you see failure as a part of the process, can help you bounce back faster. They remind you that failure is not permanent and that you have the strength to keep going. A strong support system reinforces the idea that failure is just a temporary setback and that success is still possible. Additionally, setting realistic expectations and understanding that success takes time can help alleviate the pressure of failure. It's easy to expect immediate results, but that's rarely how success happens. Success is built on consistent effort over time, and failure is just one part of that journey. When you accept that growth takes time and effort, you're less likely to be discouraged by setbacks. You'll understand that failure doesn't mean the end, it's just a part of the process. Embracing failure as part of your motivation means recognizing that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are simply detours that lead to greater growth, resilience, and success. When you change your perspective on failure, it stops being something to avoid and becomes a tool for learning and progress. Every failure is an opportunity to get better, to refine your approach, and to come back stronger. Instead of fearing failure, you begin to embrace it, knowing that each misstep brings you one step closer to achieving your goals. In life, it's easy to get caught up in comparing your progress with others. We live in a world that constantly broadcasts the success stories of people around us. Social media, the news, and even casual conversations often highlight the achievements of others, creating a perception that everyone is moving faster or accomplishing more than you are. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or frustration. However, the key to staying motivated every day is understanding that your journey is your own, and it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. When you start comparing yourself to others, you create unnecessary pressure. You start questioning your own abilities, doubting whether you're good enough or wondering if you're doing something wrong. What you might not realize is that the path you are on is unique to you, and your timeline doesn't need to align with anyone else's. Everyone has their own set of challenges, strengths, and circumstances. The success stories you see often gloss over the struggles that people face to get there. Everyone's journey includes setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. These are just as important as the triumphs. Your success should not be measured by the pace of others. Just because someone else is moving faster or achieving more doesn't mean you are any less capable. It just means that their path is different and you are on a different one. There is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to personal growth or success. You have to be patient with yourself and understand that you're moving at the right pace for you. Comparison only serves to distract you from your true potential and slow down your progress. The energy you spend looking at others could be better spent focusing on your own growth, taking consistent actions that align with your goals. One of the most important things you can do is to define success for yourself. What does success mean to you? For some, it's about financial gain, while for others, it might be personal growth, health, relationships, or making a positive impact on others. It's crucial to identify what you truly want to achieve in life, not based on the standards of others, but on your own values and desires. When you do this, you give yourself the freedom to move towards those goals without feeling the need to compete with others. You become more focused on creating the life you want, rather than living up to someone else's idea of success. It's also helpful to focus on your personal progress, rather than the distance between you and others. Take time to reflect on how far you've come, rather than how far you think you should be. Even the smallest steps are worth celebrating. Whether it's learning something new, overcoming a fear, or making a decision that moves you closer to your goal, progress is progress. These moments of growth matter just as much as the big milestones. The key is to recognize and appreciate the steps you've taken, no matter how small they may seem. Another way to prevent the harmful effects of comparison is to practice gratitude. When you focus on what you have and the progress you've made, it shifts your mindset from lack to abundance. Gratitude helps you stay grounded in your journey, reminding you of the positive things in your life, even when things are tough. It brings your attention back to the things that matter most: your health, your relationships, your abilities, and the opportunities in front of you. By appreciating what you have, you can silence the voices of comparison and stay focused on your own goals. Comparison often leads to unrealistic expectations. It's easy to assume that because someone else reached a certain point quickly, you should do the same. But success doesn't work on a timeline that fits everyone. It's easy to forget that people who seem to be ahead of you have likely put in years of hard work, faced countless setbacks, and learned from their failures. Instead of envying their achievements, think about the effort they've put into getting there. Success is not just about reaching a destination, but about the journey you take to get there. You have to embrace the process, even if it feels slow at times. By focusing on your own progress, setting personal goals, and being kind to yourself, you will build lasting motivation. The journey will always have ups and downs, but by removing the constant need to compare yourself to others, you'll find the strength to keep moving forward. Remember, your progress is personal, and it doesn't need to match anyone else's. What matters is that you keep going, step by step, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be.